What's your analysis of what's going on in Baghdad right now?
Well, I think there are two main factors at play. First, Iran's unwillingness to play by the rules. So when the Iranian bloc was a minority before the Sadrist bloc resigned, Iran refused to let the majority form a cabinet and insisted that any cabinet should be a national consensus cabinet. Then when Sadr resigned, and his seats went to the Iranian bloc, now all of a sudden the Iranian bloc wants to form a majority cabinet regardless of a national consensus cabinet. So we see that Iran and its bloc keep on twisting the laws in the ways that suits them the best. And all of it is still in such a way to keep the armed militias outside of government reach. The second factor is that the leader of the anti-Iran bloc, cleric Muqtada al-Sadr, is such an amateur when it comes to politics that he does not calculate. He likes populism. He likes big announcements. He likes to cause shockwaves, but he doesn't understand how government works. So now we see that he regrets asking 73 legislators of his bloc to resign, handing the seats over to the Iranian bloc. Now he opposes them. Had he kept this bloc, he wouldn't have had to send in his people into parliament. So we have two factors at play. We have Iran that's twisting the laws, and we have anti-Iran Sadr, who's really amateur to stand up to Iran and stop it.
But is he powerful? Is he gaining power?
Well, I think even if he was powerful, I think right before he withdrew or he resigned, together with the Kurds and the Sunnis, they formed a majority coalition of 222 seats out of 365. And this could have formed a cabinet, except that Iran instructed the Supreme Court to come up with a really silly idea that the majority is a two-thirds majority, which is unheard of in any parliamentary system, because the majority is usually just the simple majority, which is half plus one. So when the Supreme Court did that, they effectively threw a wrench into the whole political process. And this stopped Sadr. And instead of pushing further, Sadr decided to go back. And this was a mistake. I'm not sure whether he can force an election. Maybe if they force another election, I think the results would be pretty much the same, which means that the problem is what the Supreme Court issued and stop democracy.
If you had to put a finger on it, in whose interest is to keep Iraq in chaos?
Well, I think the Iranians have proven in Iraq and Lebanon and Yemen and everywhere that they have influence that they either rule the country or they cause civil war. And they've never been ashamed of saying it out loud. They did it in Lebanon. Before Sadr resigned, they were promising civil war. There are leaks on tape of Maliki, the former prime minister of Iraq, who's pro-Iran, saying that they should get armed and prepare for civil war if they can't take government. So this is the Iranian model. We either rule or everyone dies, and we rule by sheer power.
So what's going to be the end of it? Do you see any future to Iraq?
At this point, unfortunately, neither election has managed to change things. Neither revolution managed to change things. I fear that things might keep on deteriorating and might go into a full-scale civil war. I'm not sure the Iranians care if there's civil war. They will never step back. They'll fight a civil war instead of just trying to spare the country. And I'm not sure that the anti-Iranian factions have much more options or choices to stand up to the Iranians other than fighting them over in the street.
Yeah, well, a bleak outlook. What can we say? Hussain Abdul-Hussain, I thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Thank you.